Hey guys, today we're watching Earthlings, and this is a documentary. I don't even know what this is.
Well, we haven't watched it yet, obviously, so we do know it's about animal cruelty. So we're going to watch it first, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards. We're not going to show you the whole thing. We're going to show you the bits where we react to the strongest, obviously, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards.
It says here, this is the beginning of it. It says the images you're about to see are not isolated cases. These are the industry standard for animals bred as pets, food, clothing, for entertainment and research. We have seen the trailer, and the trailer alone was enough to make me a vegetarian for 3 weeks. So I'm kind of nervous.
That's
I'm
right.
Really nervous
So we are currently vegetarian already. We are even trying to be vegan. I'm having a feeling after this we might find it easier to be vegan. So let's watch it and find out.
Ready?
Yeah.
Are we having the sound on? Apparently. Did I press play? Yeah.
Yes.
So the following film demonstrates in 5 ways just how animals have come to serve mankind. The smugness with which man could do with other species as he pleased exemplified the most extreme racist theories. The principle that might is right. The comparison here to the Holocaust is both intentional and obvious.
Part 1, pets.
Animals are packed very tightly and can take as long as 20 minutes to die.
Fuck's sake.
It is by
No
far
idea
less
these gas
merciful,
chambers. That's
I
terrible.
thought it was bad.
more traumatic and painful,
Euthanasia stuff. That made me. Oh.
Yeah.
but the procedure is less expensive.
Stray overpopulation in Turkey. Oh God.
The hope for the animals of tomorrow is to be found in a human culture which learns to feel beyond itself. We must learn empathy.
No.
We must learn to see into the eyes of an animal and feel that their life has value because they are alive.
No.
Having the greater power, humans decide when these animals will die, where they will die, and how they will die. Certainly very few people ever visit a slaughterhouse, and films of slaughterhouse operations are not popular on television. People might hope that the meat that they buy came from an animal who died without pain, but they don't really want to know about it. Yet those who, by their purchases, require animals to be killed do not deserve to be shielded from this or any other aspect of the production of the meat they buy. For those of us living on a meat diet, the process these animals undergo is as follows. For beef, the animals are all branded. In this instance, on the face.
Why? Why
Dehorning
at all?
usually follows, never with anesthetic,
Oh.
but rather a large pair of pliers.
Oh. That's not.
Why
isn't
do you
hygienic?
want them anyway?
At least they don't scratch each other with themselves, so they can't hurt the humans. Oh. That's vile.
It's just weird.
It's still alive.
It's just awful.
Onto blood-soaked floors.
Oh. I mean, even if you're just thinking from a human point of view, this does not look healthy. Oh,
What is that?
gross. Oh, God.
Cannibalism. Oh God, yeah, they eat everything.
Oh. Oh, it's so disgusting. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, God.
This is done without anesthetic.
Of course it is.
Also administered without anesthetic.
Oh. Oh.
Oh no. That's just disgusting. Ugh.
Throat slitting, however, is still the least expensive way to kill an animal.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
The babies.
Debeaking prevents feather pecking and cannibalism in frustrated chickens, caused by overcrowding in single
God.
areas where they are unable
Can't
to
even watch
establish a
that.
social order.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh my god, why?
So they don't peck each other.
Oh my god.
Or themselves.
Today,
Okay.
done with infant chicks, the procedure is carried out very quickly, about 15 birds a minute.
Oh, 15 birds a minute. That's...
Such haste means that
It's vile. Vile. Evil.
Alright, we finished watching it.
I don't even know where to start.
Obviously, we don't know what to say. It was crazy.
It was appalling. It was really barbaric.
Yeah. I've watched some other videos about this prior to watching this, and there were some people who said they've watched this and they still eat meat.
I did not.
I don't think I could do that. I mean, I guess you could say we are sort of easily influenced, but that was shocking.
I mean, it didn't really touch on organic farming and free range farming and fair trade. And, you know, I can appreciate that that's different, but I still don't think, I never really thought about how animals are killed. And even if they're killed instantly, I still think it's the other animals see, or they know what's coming, or it hurts them, and I just don't, even if it is organic and it is fair trade, free range, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right.
Well, I certainly
It's
couldn't.
not necessary.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't kill an animal, so I guess I shouldn't eat them.
I couldn't, not anymore.
And it just puzzles me how people can think of such crazy, you know, operations and inventions to injure and kill animals, yet we can't think of something to, you know, prevent, you know, humans from suffering.
Well, animals from suffering.
And animals, obviously.
I mean, there were 5 sections to this film, and I think for me the most just ridiculous one is killing animals for sport. You know, all the bullfighting and the rodeos. The second one was the clothing, but I think that's quite hard because often you don't look at. I've never really looked at my clothing and thought, oh, what's this made of? And I think it needs to say. Same with the food. I think it needs to come with a warning, like on cigarettes. By the way, animals were killed.
Yeah.
On your leather clothes or on your shoes, and it needs more. You do need to research it.
It's just us people, we the people who need to look more on the label. I guess that's all they do. All have. They must have labels, obviously. So.
Yeah, I'm sure they have labels, but it's just it's not really something I ever really thought about. And then obviously there was what else was there? Killing them for food, pets, and medical and cosmetic kind of experiments, and that also doesn't need to happen.
No.
And I really think everyone needs to see this. If you can watch this film and still eat meat, then
tell us why in the comments, because I don't understand it, obviously. But yeah, anyways, I'm guessing if you watch this video, you've already seen Earthlings. If not, check it out. It is
it's
important
awful.
to watch. It's important to watch.
Important to watch, and I didn't want to watch it. We saw the trailer for it 6 weeks ago, and I didn't want to watch it because it was awful. And I think that's a big part of the meat thing, is people just don't, like you said, they don't want to know. People know that the animals are killed, and often in horrible ways, and they just, like you said, it will spoil your dinner, but you need to know.
Well, these days there are many alternatives, and it is you know, possible, and it gets easier to not eat meat, you know.
And there's always this kind of, I don't want to restrict myself by not eating meat. I want to have the, you know, I understand that, you know, you want to be able to try everything. But I think personally, for me, like when we ate meat yesterday, no jokes, when we ate meat before, I think that can be quite restricting because you always have meat in your diet. You always have chicken or beef or pork or maybe turkey, maybe fish, and that's only 5 things. And I think if you get rid of that, then you start exploring new options like beans and grains, and I don't even know yet, like fruit and veg and I don't know, nuts. There's so much more on offer. And even if you don't care about animals and you can easily watch an animal being killed or easily kill an animal yourself, just watching that video made me realise how unhealthy it is. Like, those animals had sores and tumours and they were like on dirty floors, and you know, even if you're just thinking about yourself and what you eat, then you should think about how you're probably eating some really bad diseases by the looks of it.
So what was the worst bit of this documentary?
The worst, absolutely worst, I think it's a fox or maybe a dog. It's skinned alive. It was upside down. They skinned it alive, and then it was just blinking, and it had no. And then there's another bit where there's a dog, and it's just thrown into like a dumpster, and the dumpster's kind of turning around and crushing all the rubbish, and it's alive again from the trailer. Yeah. The beak bit was horrible. Yeah. They cut the beaks off the chickens to stop them pecking each other.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, if animals are pecking each other, you got to think, oh, there's something wrong here. And instead of cutting the beaks off, you should think, well, maybe we should stop them pecking each other by not having them in such small cages and doing such barbaric things to each.
Yeah.
What was worse for you?
Yeah, that. But I also found at the beginning they were mentioning the similarities between what happened in World War II, which was obviously wrong, which we all know now, and what is still going on today with these animals. And I believe that maybe in the future people will look back and say, oh wow, you know, these people were very ignorant as well, and I'm glad we stopped that now.
Someone said that to me once. They said they think in 100 years' time people will look back on the way we treat animals as the way we look back on how people treat, you know, how people had slaves, or how, you know, concentration camps, and even that still happens today. And slaves still happen today.
Yeah, but less than that animal.
In terms of like going over to Africa or Australia and taking back slaves.
Yeah.
I feel so sick. I feel so sick. And one thing though I didn't find is I'm never touching meat again, and I'm yesterday we walked past Burger King and I really wanted some chips, and I nearly went in and bought chips, but
French fries.
If
you're American.
I'm so glad we didn't, because I don't want to support them in any way.
No.
But I didn't. I thought it would also make me want to totally become a vegan, and.
Oh yeah.
Although I'm, you know, they didn't really touch much on milking, and I mean, did a little bit. They said how milk cows just.
Yeah, that also wasn't great, but I mean, there was far worse.
Yeah.
Far worse.
The problem is I think it's so much easier to just not think about this stuff and just to ignore it and just go on with your life. And the problem is when you start thinking about it, it's not just this. It seems like such a big battle, you know. You've got so many problems with humans, like homelessness and child prostitution, and I don't know, I could name a billion things that we just don't think about. And I think if you open up to caring on one thing, you care about everything, and that's why it's so much easier just to not care about anything.
Yeah.
It feels a lot better.
But I did see a lot of people, obviously, in this documentary abusing animals, and they sort of seem to enjoy it sometimes. And I think these people must have seen somebody else doing it first, and then, you know, taught to enjoy that. Because otherwise, I don't see how they can, you know, perform that profession or live for themselves. So I think a lot of it might be conformity.
Yeah.
And they just, you know, they just need to rethink what is happening there, and it doesn't need to happen anymore.
There was a section where they just chucked all these chickens on the floor, and then they were jumping along and stamping on their heads and, you know, having a fun time jumping. And there was a woman who was cutting off pigs' ears and testicles and tails, and she was smiling. And there was I think one of the worst bits for me was where there were 3 pigs in a kind of thing, and he was talking to them and going, oh, I'm gonna get you, and then he had a gun and he was shooting them.
Yeah, that was all bad, but I think overall what was the worst is this routine that they all had. They all seemed very calm, very used to it, and they seemed to consider all of that very normal when it was obviously not normal. That was shocking. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna end the video here. Thank you for watching. Drop us a comment below if you've seen it. Do you still eat meat? Do you not eat meat? Are your thoughts similar to our thoughts about Earthlings? And yeah, thank you for watching, I guess.
Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.